ahead of myself sometimes. What can I do? All right, so I found this. This was on the our restroom wall. I keep in mind that the more deeply I breathe, the more relaxed my body is. Anybody ever get stressed out and you're not breathing?
We've got this stuff on our bathroom wall.
We really do. These are the affirmations from Louise Hay's calendar. So Roxy will put them up on the wall and then people say, where do you get those from? And it's a perpetual calendar, so it's kind of cool. Anyway, so now we can welcome up Dr. Kimberly Johnson. Yay! Okay, and I think you're tall, so you could probably use this one. Yeah. Okay, good. So adjust it to what you need. And I've been wanting Dr. Kim to do a talk for
a while.
Since she got here, actually. How long has it been?
October?
Oh my gosh, October of last year. So
Well, honestly, I put it off because, public speaking is one of the bigger fears.
oh, does it cause a little emotion in your body?
It does. Luckily, I worked through it a little bit.
Yay! And you can move that up if you need it.
Or
take it off. Take it off. Absolutely.
Good, because I
Yes,
have to
it's
walk
much
around.
better that way. All right, so thank you so much for being here.
Thank
We're
you so much.
grateful.
I'm honored to be here. Thank you guys for showing up, and I look forward to sharing a little bit of my knowledge with me. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, we are going to give her the floor.
So, just starting out, I feel very honored in the sense that there's so many, I feel like I stand on so many different shoulders of all these different masters. And I feel very blessed to be doing what I'm doing. And, starting out with Hippocrates, heal the body with the mind and the mind with the body. There's all this great healing modalities, and I just feel very lucky to share what I know. So next. So in chiropractic, which I'm lucky to have found, there's 33 principles, and it all starts with the major premise. A universal intelligence is in all matter and continually gives to it all properties and actions, thus maintaining it in existence. This is actually the basis of what my profession is founded on. That there's this intelligence, but when it gets blocked, whether it's physical, chemical, emotional, we're going to have some issues. So I like to, a lot of people don't realize that about our profession, that it actually was founded on this intelligence, and that we wanted to restore the spirit to the body. They call it the upside down, inside out. And so this is what I'm trying to do when I'm working with the body. And again, it can be blocked, physically, chemically, emotionally. So I'm gonna give a little bit of a speech on physical. We'll skip the chemical a little bit. Not that it's not important. And then we'll spend most of the time on the emotional. So it's going to be a bit of interaction. So right here, can you see that? Oh! Yay! You can put it down when, okay. So this circle right here represents your skull. Inside your skull is what?
Your brain.
Your brain! Yay! Your brain. And so below your brain is your
Thorax.
thorax. Yes. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, or body. So if your brain can talk to your body at 100%, we say you have normal function. And if you have normal function, your body has ease. But if you don't have ease, you eventually get symptoms. And so symptoms can be stress, headaches, stomach aches, anyways. Oh, okay, very good. Okay, so there has to be somewhere where this isn't functioning. So what we understand is that the nervous system controls and coordinates all functions of the body. So, or we can say your intelligence, this universal intelligence controls and coordinates all functions of your body. Does that make sense to you guys? So a symptom is an outward sign of an inner problem. So kind of like when your oil light on your car goes on. You know, you don't have a light problem. What do you have? Oil, yeah. And it takes a while to come, right?
Yes.
Right. So it's not like you have to drive the car for a while before the oil light comes on. And you can do a lot of things. You can duct tape the sign, you know, over it. But eventually, you're not going to have that much fun if you do that, right? It will eventually give you malfunction and dis-ease and give you symptoms. And the symptoms might be for the car breaking down, okay? So this is an example, if you can see, where physically you might have a misalignment in the spine, let's say, or emotionally you might have something that triggers your emotions. So, does that make sense to you guys?
Yes.
Cool, we can put that down. I won't be holding it. No, we're on to the next.
Well, we need you.
We do need you. You're amazing. Okay, so next. So this intelligence, like I said, can be blocked in 3 different ways. Next. Physically, a misalignment in the spine. Chemically, so if you're breathing, so we know the fires happen and there was ash outside and we were all wearing masks. Why? Because we did not want that chemically disrupting our body, the hormones and everything. Emotionally. So emotionally things can affect us. Somebody says something. You get bad news. You feel it in your body. So next. So I didn't know I wasn't going to have the clicker.
Okay.
So physical, structural, we talked about that. Next. Brain-body diagram. So this was the brain-body diagram. We talked about that. So next, I went ahead of myself. So a minor misalignment in the spine creates irritation to the nerve with the loss of normal function. So we went over that. And so I always like to give the example too. The brain trips in the spinal cord and it causes this misalignment.
Oh.
So imagine if that's
Will you do that again?
the brain trips into the spinal cord. The brain trips in the spinal cord. And imagine if it's, thank you, it misaligns. So imagine how much function is being lost. So again, too, you can see there's arteries that run up through here. And if there's pressure on these, you're not going to have a good time. So again, you're going to have this lack of communication. So physically, you can see how this is quite important. So next, chemically, what you eat, breathe, and smell. Next. So one of my mentors we started talking more about the emotions. And NET, which is neuroemotional technique, is which Miriam wanted me to speak about. It's very dynamic because we work specifically with the emotions. And it's an 8-step process, and there's science to it, so yay! So next. It's a tool. It's not limited to just chiropractors. There's a lot of other healthcare practitioners that use it. So next. It's very effective in treating symptoms related to trauma and unresolved stressful events. A lot of us in the last 3 months can attribute to some of the stressful events that have happened. And next. So, how do we respond to stress? Okay, so when a trauma comes in, we have acute and we have chronic. And so a lot of times these patterns can get stored in our body. And next, we can have an acute stress response, which is, for example, if we're walking to the water pond and we see a rattlesnake. We have a really quick response. Or we can have a chronic stress response. Next. Next. Yeah. So acute response has a perceived danger, and then we resolve it. It readies our bodies for flight or fight. You know, sympathetic, we run away from the rattlesnake. Next. Chronic stress is what NET, neuroemotional technique, works with. It's when we are triggered by something, it stores in our body and we're triggered again. Next, it's a chronic stress. So many stressful events of today can subconsciously remind us of unresolved past traumatic events. And sometimes we don't know how to clear them. Next. And this can lead to chronic stress patterns being stored in our body that surface and produce symptoms. Next. So this NET can help us eliminate conditioned emotional responses and stop these reoccurring patterns. Next. So this is some of the research that they found this last year. Next. Next. So what they did is they took cancer patients that had an unresolved, that had survived, that were still having really stressful patterns stored in their body. They were still responding. There was still this stress and they weren't clearing. And what they did is they did a standing MRI, or they did an MRI of the brain. And they thought about the stressful events they had gone through. Next. And so what happened, as you can see, is anytime they thought about these stressful events and thought about it, you can see those red dots right there. It fired in their brain. And it was activated. Next. And so that was before, that was after. You can see that the brain and the body were cleared after. So I found that really fascinating. Next. So you can see that the whole brain was changed. They also did another study where they monitored the heart rate. Next. And what they did is, again, they did some stressor cues. And next. Next. So you can see before and after the heart rate, you can see how it was really higher in the pre and then the post. So next. So there's more information, one foundation. So there's 8 dynamics, or 8 different ways that NET works. And after this, I'll give an example. And I'm also going to give you guys, going all along with Reverend Miriam, one of the stressor that you thought of, the negative emotion you thought of this morning. We're going to see if you can self-clear it. Yay! The 8 dynamics of that. So next. So emotions are physiologically based. We know this. Candace Pert did a lot of research. And her quote that I really like, next. Your body is your subconscious mind, and you can't heal it by talk alone. The chemicals that are running our body and our brain are the same chemicals that are involved in emotion, and that says to me that we better pay more attention to our emotions with respect to health. So again, I like the signs of us seeing that just talk alone would just be firing those red dots in your brain. But once you can clear it, and this isn't the only way you can clear it, there's a lot of other healing modalities, but this is a way that I found that really, really helps people facilitate their own healing. And again, restoring that brain, that intelligence back to us. It's almost like it's like the brain and the heart are meeting. And the spirit comes back down. Next, your mind is in every cell of your body. So what she found was these peptides are in every cell. So if you're experiencing anger, it's in every cell of your body. So how can we facilitate that change? How can we help the body move it, right? Because, emotions are healthy, but not if they get stuck, and not if somebody keeps coming into me with the same pattern over and over again. I'm like, what's going on? How can I give you tools to do your own clearing too? Next, this was about the dog, and I call it the dog that drools. Okay, so actually salivate. Okay, so we had a German physiologist, Pablo. I always say his name wrong. And what he found is that with these dogs, he would ring a bell. He would ring a bell, and the dog started associating that bell with food. And we are like that dog. We have a certain impact that comes in, and we start salivating. And sometimes it's healthy, and sometimes it's anger, not so healthy. So if we keep repeating, we start finding this pattern, we keep on circling. What I like is he found that you could actually extinguish this pattern. So, next. The emotions are related to the meridians, as everybody knows. Next, it's the Yellow Emperor. We give him a lot of honor. Like I said in the beginning, I'm standing on a lot of different shoulders. And we know that kidney is associated with fear, liver with anger, and we use these just to help our body clear. We can actually access the pulse points. Next. Repetition compulsion, Freud. So, subconsciously, sometimes we will seek out the same pattern until we resolve it. So, this is also something that we try and address with NET. Next. Again, the memory of role and physiology. So, when we remember a past stressful event, the body replicates a similar physiological response. So, say your partner yells at you. You might physically respond to the same thing when associating with your dad yelling at you. Next, so using the memory 11, visualize the lemon. Think about cutting it into, seeing the juice squirt out. Now take a big bite. Most of you physiologically feel that pucker. So next. Yes, your mouth is probably watering, and your body is naturally, physiologically feeling that same response to memory of a lemon. Next. We have our body's stress response works in similar ways when triggered with unresolved memories. So, next. Muscle testing. So with this process, we do use muscle testing, and I like to clear a lot of things up because a lot of you guys, I've found that some of you guys do use it. Muscle testing is not a yes or no. It's actually just a physical response to something that you know is true. If I muscle tested myself and I said I was a boy, my body would be like, no, you're not. Next. And also this, with this is, it's our emotional reality. With muscle testing, we don't know if it's true or not true, but it's what we remember to be true. Next. So again, true, false, and yes, no indicator. Next.
It's more an indicator of your emotional.
It's of your emotions. You can't say it's yours.
Yes or no.
Yes or no.
But isn't it a reference to the past emotional, not just
Past or
So
present.
you have an emotional.
But it's your own emotional reality.
That's what I'm saying. You
Yeah.
have a physical muscular response to a past emotional feeling.
Past or present.
So, but
Yeah.
you're trying to recreate a present emotional feeling. And if your muscle memory is the same as the past, then.
But so just to clarify, you can't use it to indicate
Yes or no? No.
yes or no.
Great.
But it is your emotional reality. You also can't. Yeah. So they just want to clarify that.
Voluntary versus voluntary.
Yes. Thank you. Next. So involuntary. So again, thank you. So again, it's like a patella reflex. So next. We have a response to words. So the physiology of the body can be reacted to the sight of a spider, as well as to the word spider, or as a picture of a spider. So this will all have us give a physiological response. Next, like cures like. So with this, we actually asked you to go back to a picture of a place of pain. And we would do that because sometimes, a lot of times what they found is thinking of this place of pain actually helps your body release. And also the next, okay. So the handouts. So this is just an example of what you can use for yourself. It's called FAST. So, going back to the exercise Reverend Miriam talked about this morning, can you guys all revisit that emotion that has negatively impacted you? Are there enough? Oh, there's two more. Did you guys see? Okay, so can you guys all go back to that area that negatively impacted you? Okay, good. And I want you to rate it for yourself. 10 being like unbearable, 0 being none. And I want you to feel that in your body and write down a number to yourself if you can. With a pen, or just think it, put it in your phone. And next, thinking of that, we have pulse points on our thumb. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna, just a couple inches below the thumb, we're gonna press on those areas. And we're gonna put our hand to our forehead, and we're just gonna go back to, we're gonna feel that emotion. We're going to feel it for 5 breaths. And then we're going to switch to the other hand.
You come from behind me.
So it's on the thumb hand.
Yeah.
And just notice if there's any change in your body. So that's something that you can do for yourself. It's a tool that you can use to just help clear those emotions. The previous studies, we found that just to keep everything clean in the MRI studies of the head, they did it using the homeopathy. So you can see how that can actually just help your body take that edge out and come back down to center.
Is it anywhere on the forehead?
It's right here. So again, it's best if you go flat, palm flat over the head, because this is they call it the emotional part of the brain. So you want to help clear that. Yeah. Okay, so that's that. Also, I was wondering, does anybody have any neck pain? I think somebody said they have. Barbara. Okay. Would you like to come down here?
Sure.
Okay. Have I ever met you before this morning?
No.
Have I ever worked on you?
No.
Am I paying you to do anything? Good.
You giving her a bribe?
She rehearsed those notes really well. No,
Okay, so I want you to turn. So again, this is another demonstration of NET. Are you okay with being over here?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's have you turn your head to the left, and then back to the center, and then to the right. Back to the center. Other way again. So it feels a bit more constricted that way. Going to the left. Which way feels
Constricted both ways.
okay? Yeah. Can people tell me? Go to the left.
He's in the middle.
Left or right? See how she goes a lot more further this way?
Yeah.
Okay. And back. So
Yeah.
can we all agree on that?
Yeah.
Left. Go to left again. And the right. Okay, so I'm gonna just do a demonstration. Where in your neck is hurting? Okay, can you hold that for me? Okay. And then let's try. Can you hold this? So. Okay, and don't push me down. So we're looking to see if there's a change. Good. So she gets a little bit weaker. Can you guys see that? So let me take it away. Press down. And press down. Can you see how she goes a little bit weaker?
No?
So the hand on the forehead makes it do the weak emotional reality.
Yeah, so let's do this again. So press up.
Yeah, but we wouldn't be able to see how these get done.
And then here, I'm pressing down.
Is there a reference?
So this is my reference. Can you see how she goes? Yeah. Do you feel like you're pressing the same way? Okay, so we can. So to me that says that there's an emotional component. Do you want to address it? Okay. You don't have to. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna, so you can see how there's the muscle test that's our indicator. Here, could you hold this again? Oh, good.
And then that way you can do this. Okay. All right, so this side. And then you can just this one.
Okay, good.
Okay. All right, now.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, good. A lot easier. Is it hurting you right now? What would you rate it as? 10 being like
Right now it's probably a 5.
a 5, okay. So we'll see if we can do any change to that, okay? Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay, I will always ask if you're okay. Okay, so generally there's two things in life. I'm going to just see if this correlates with money, love. Okay, so there's some sort of love. Does anybody come to mind? Love? No? Okay. So let me know. You can stop anytime if this gets uncomfortable, please. So generally there's two types of love. There's family, and then there's friends. Okay. So friends. And so there's current friends, past friends. Anybody come to mind?
I think we should say this is confidential too, we're not gonna
Yeah.
talk about it.
Yeah.
Well, except on YouTube. I can't think of some past friend that this is related to.
Okay. So why don't you just think of just a couple names? Just think about a name.
Might be Dan.
No.
You don't need to say it out loud.
Yeah. Don't say it out loud
To yourself.
to yourself. Because are we being filmed?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Another friend. Okay, so that friend.
Okay.
Okay. So putting that aside, we're going to see what emotion this correlates to. So friend, think of that friend, think of that friend, think of that friend. Okay. So let's check the concept of low self-esteem. Let's check the concept of your low self-esteem. Check the concept of your sensitivity to someone else's low self-esteem.
Having low self-esteem.
Let her do it.
Sorry.
So can you put that into a sentence that makes some sort of sense to you? That person and low self-esteem.
That person's low
No,
self-esteem.
you being sensitive to them and your low self. You being sensitive to their low self-esteem.
Yes. Do you want me to say it out loud?
No.
Okay.
Okay, so just find that. Just think of that. Make sure we're there. Think of that. Okay, so I want you to have over here pressure. Right, light pressure right here. Good. And hand on your forehead. And just think of that. Just take 3 or 4 breaths. let's just think of them again. Okay, cool. So I want you, again, just to think of that person. Okay, hold. And put your hand on your neck where it was hurting. And hold. And hold. So she went stronger there. Let's see if you change your range of motion. Put your hand to the left. So, and I've never met you before, right? Okay, so this is a demonstration of what can happen when your mind and your body come back and connect. And going back to the major premise of chiropractic, what we want to do is restore that brain, that divine intelligence back to us. And so this is just one aspect of what we can do. What's your pain now? Is it still alive?
No, it's me too.
Okay, so that's
Awesome.
kind of cool.
All right.
Thank you for being vulnerable. Yeah. Any questions? Anyways, thank you guys for having me. I hope that was
And if you have questions, please
Yes.
talk to Kim after,
yeah.
okay? Because I didn't realize we were so engaged. Oh my gosh, time flew.
Sorry.
No, it's so great. Thank you so much. Isn't that great? Give her another round. I like that. Isn't that something? It really makes us realize how powerful we are too, and that one technique, that little technique she just gave you, can change everything. Isn't that fabulous?
Yeah.
So it's all good.
And then on Barbara's example, it even had to do with another person's self-esteem rather than.
Well, yeah, and you don't know. That's why it's good to have somebody else, do that with you. Okay, so with that.